Cornbread. I did that last note to show off how we fixed our mic.
Just a little bit, maybe.
Okay, enough of that. Good spells, Fint, Tempest. Bad spells, let's get to bad spells. What I hate is when stuff isn't all balanced. Like, every spell should have its own use. Every school should be its own unique little snowflake. We're gonna get to that. But
maybe no spells should be snowflakes.
Exactly.
Maybe everything associated with a snowflake, as in like the actual thing, should be kicked out of the game.
Yeah, or just completely redesigned. So let's get on with it. We hate bad spells, so let's rant about them. See if we can hopefully get them buffed by getting the word out there.
The 8 worst spells in the game. Starting off, number 8, any bomb spell. Any spell that has the bomb mechanic attached to it, just go ahead and take it, wad it up, throw it in the trash can over your shoulder. Garbage. No use in PvE. You're just wasting time when you could use a regular hit. And then in PvP, it could be situational. You put it on a guy, and then 15 years later, he gets
Yeah,
or he
correct.
could just remove it or push it onto you, and then you're stuck with it. So that's number 8. Core, what's number 7?
Rain of Fire is horrendous. Now, Rain of Fire itself doesn't seem that bad. It's just when you look at the bigger picture, you take a step back, that's when you see that Rain of Fire is 2 pips more expensive than Fire Dragon and literally just does less damage.
Yeah, less total damage.
It's some sort of oversight. I don't care if you're like, oh, they buffed the rank 7s above the power curve just to, ease of access. Rain of Fire is worse than Fire Dragon.
Fire Dragon is OP because it's like you hit with a meteor strike, and then you hit with another meteor strike over time.
Rain of Fire's idea is that the initial hit's smaller, but the DOT's bigger, but it just does less total damage than Fire Dragon.
Yeah,
it's just an oversight that needs another 100 damage at the DOT.
At least. I understand that the first hit is there to break shields, but you're not giving up. You're not gaining utility. You're just pushing the damage from the start to the end.
And you're not even
adding 2 pips and losing damage.
Yeah, you're not even getting a trade-off. It's just worse. So buff Rain of Fire, but more importantly, you need to buff, please God, buff the next item on our list, Boar.
The next item on the list, number 6, is Frost Giant. It is the worst rank 7 in the game, and that is the most used spell in the entire game.
Every school's rank 7 is the most important.
You might use rank 4s pretty often whenever you're just fighting minions, but if you're in a serious fight, rank 7 is going to be your go-to. Ice's rank 7 is going to do approximately 13.5 damage and then stun no boss ever in the history of the game.
Ratbeard himself, I saw this on Twitter, said that Frost Giant is very bad for a specific reason. All PvE bosses are immune to stunning. So, take the freaking stun off of Frost Giant!
An idea.
Oh, God.
An idea. Have a PvP version that has the stun, and then PvE version that just has the extra damage because the stun will never be used ever.
If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about Frost Giant. It needs to just be better, man. But that leads us to the next spell, Snow Angel. I would consider this the worst attack spell in the entire game.
It is. It takes what's bad about Rain of Fire.
It just
and
runs
it makes
with
it worse.
Yeah, it takes that initial idea and goes a different direction, one that's straight down from the original idea. 35 damage on the first attack.
Ice is just completely screwed. They get a decent ranked 4, which is still weak. And then they have no good spell additions until Snowball Barrage, and that's a Shadow Pip Tempest.
Yeah, you can't rely on Shadow Pips unless you're just, for a fact going into the fight, you're going to be there for more than 10 rounds.
Okay, number 4. This is a doubleheader. They're basically the same thing, do the same thing, just different ends of the spectrum. Daybreaker and Nightbringer. They take 18 pips, and then they let you do like a little backflip and make it cast second the following round, or something like that. So, if you want to combo that, you can have a 10 pip Elephant followed by, get this, Another Elephant for 6 pips.
So you need approximately 16 pips to make this work. Then that's the first one's gonna use all your blades. Why not just blade another time or Fint and it deal 10,000 more damage? Then I like the idea. It's just way too expensive of a utility.
The only
4
way
pips is insane.
The only way I could see this being used is if you primary cast a Feint.
Yeah.
And then hit after it within the same round. So Fint hit.
But that would be a 5-pip Fint.
5.
And not to mention, I've tested this, by the way. If the boss has a cheat to take off a Fint when you cast, if you use Daybreaker or Nightbringer, he still takes it off immediately. So it doesn't even work as like you Fint and then hit through the cheat. No, he still takes it off before you hit. So like it's just a style thing.
That makes it completely useless.
Yeah.
In PvE. 4.
Yes. Do you know what the next worst spell in the game is?
Number 3.
Shadow Trickster. Boar, what do you think Trick does? Do you even know what it does? Could you figure out what it did?
I don't know, but I fizzled on it one time and I got a treat.
So Shadow Trickster steals a pip.
It steals a pip.
For a Shadow Pip.
So you get a Shadow Pip, and then you get a regular pip.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a trade. Art of the deal.
But you get 30 extra % on your critical. Actually, who knows? Because nobody knows what critical actually. It's not a percentage anymore. It's like a rating.
Yep.
It says 60% or something. I don't even know what about the critical. This spell's horrible. A Shadow Pip is more useful to. If you're an ice, just go ahead and donate it to someone else who's more capable.
If you're an ice, you could cast Tempest with a Shadow Pip.
Yeah, that's true. So, Boar, what does that lead to our next worst spell?
That leads to number 2, the second worst things in the game. Another doubleheader from Boar. Pacifies and Taunts. Completely useless in PvE. Just grow up and hit like an adult.
Yeah.
Just go offensive. Quit trying to just hit. And then in PvP, I guess you could enchant it to only be able to target. But what's that going to get you when they kill it the first round?
You're talking about minions. You get a minion to taunt? Yeah, it's dead immediately. Pacifies or taunts are so insignificant. They do so little in terms of like what they actually do that I've seen people online genuinely question if it's glitched or if it just doesn't do anything. But I would agree, it may as well not do anything. It is the second worst spell in the game. And Boar,
core number 1. You can read this off, but first, a word from our sponsor, Straight Jackets.
In the description.
In the description. Just kidding. But if you have this any higher than the worst spell in the game, you might need one.
And the number 1 worst spell in the entire game. This is so bad, it's even useless on paper. Any angle you look at this thing, it's horrendous. I'm sure you may know what I'm talking about. Celestial Intervention, the original path, is
terrible.
It's the pits, okay? My frustration is a 50 caliber bullet and I'm holding a pistol. I can't jam it in and shoot it out. No matter how many words, no matter how many revisions I have of this rant in my head, I can't properly tell you how much I hate this spell. It's Ice's only heal. It got locked behind a Archmastery pip, so it got even worse. It needs shields to be sacrificed to get the heal, and at the absolute highest level, 270 per shield. Each shield, even if it gets pierced, if it's a 50 and it gets down to a 15, if it's pierced 35%, I still guarantee you'll save more health than 270 health.
Yes. You could save more off one of the shields than you would get for all of the shields being traded into health.
And not to mention, there's a limit to how many shields you can even sacrifice. I feel like I'm about to have an aneurysm right now. I'm so furious about And if you're wondering why I haven't maxed, like almost maxed out, it's just because my death got maxed out Ship of Fools, and he got approximately 1,100 of these worthless spell elements from trying to get Ship of Fools maxed. So I just picked the bottom path. I've still never put this in my deck.
Yeah, it's terrible. The bottom path is at least better because that's a somewhat decent absorb.
That's a good deal.
4 pips for 1,000 absorb. Halfway decent. I mean, that'd be on par maybe with a terrible heal that's 4 pip. But
it ain't no pigsy.
It ain't
no pigsy. And not to mention, if someone hits me with a drain, that's not going to do anything to help me.
Yeah, so this spell's completely useless against death. And if you do the top path, which is its original form, useless.
Or this has been a tremendous rant of Core and Boar Tech.
Very infuriating.
Core and Boar Tech.
Bye.